Did you know that there are some shops in Oldskool Runescape that you have to unlock first by completing hidden tasks before you can actually use them? So I've been testing out moneymakers again, including 2 of these shops to find another 5 moneymakers for you that very few people know about. But first, as always, is an item worth over 10 million GP hidden within this video just for a little bit of fun, and the first person to find it gets it. So the first moneymaker is one that I've been wanting to test for a while. You can poison so many items in the game, arrows, darts, spears, and it's decent money to do so, but there's a way to make it even better. Instead of purchasing dragon daggers, I bought dragon daggers with weapon poison plus, because no one wants those, so they're even cheaper than the normal dragon daggers. I also got a cleaning cloth that allows you to remove poison, and bought 210 weapon poison plus, which is the poison that does the most damage, so the one that everybody wants. Although I did use 10 of those poisons to test various methods, so I only actually used 200 for this method. Having to remove the poison is slower, but you can really buy these cheap if you just leave a low ball offer in the GE for them. The daggers cost me just 16,751 GP each, and the weapon poison 4,302, so 21,053 GP in total for every one that I made. 200 took me just 9 minutes and 26 seconds to clean them all and then apply the more powerful poison, and they sold for 23,000 GP each. That was 385,000 profit after GE tax in just that period, which works out at 2.44 million GP per hour for a method with absolutely no requirements. Next is one of the hidden shops. After you've completed the Zoga Flesh Eater quest, if you give a potion, which I've got absolutely no idea how to pronounce, so let's go with Relissim's Balm, but knowing Jagex, it probably isn't. Anyway, if you give a 4-dose potion to Uglugnar, he will open up a brand new shop for you to access with a bunch of unusual supplies. He sells a 3-dose variant of the Balm for 200 GP, that is currently worth 1,000 each on the GE, Cooked Chompy and some Achy Tree Logs for 4 GP each, which are currently worth 297 GP. It's right by a bank too, so you can just use a Ring of Dueling to Castle Wars and run straight back here. Now the prices do go up a little bit as you buy more and more of them, so after about 50 bombs and 100 logs, I was hopping world in this method just to reset the stock. I started with a million GP and in 10 minutes managed to purchase 189 bombs and 306 logs. They sold for 224,000 GP and 99,000 respectively, making me 249,000 GP profit, which means this method is 1.34 million GP per hour. And who would have thought the next 2 items would be so profitable? The Bone Crossbow and the Bone Dagger. They can both be purchased from Narduk after the Lost Tribe quest and sell for about 50% more on the G than they currently sell for in his shop. The best part though is again how close this one is to a bank. You just follow Mistag straight back to the Lumbridge basement and use the chest there, and each inventory makes you around 27,000 GP. The shop does only have 5 of each stock, so you need to hot worlds a couple of times before you fill up your inventory, but it's so easy to do. Follow Mistag to the bank, follow him back here, and just repeat. After 10 minutes, I bought 117 daggers and 123 crossbows for almost 500,000 GP, and I could have sold them very quickly for 280,000 GP profit, but you know I'm a big fan of slow selling when possible, and these are another 2 items that regularly jump in price. So if you ever check the GE tracker on the graph here, you can see that the dagger regularly goes above 5,000 GP every couple of days. So if you're not in a rush to sell, maximize your profits like this by selling it for a little bit higher. I put the daggers in for just under 5,000 GP and the crossbow for 3,500. Sure enough, they've been selling for the last few days at those prices, and that means instead of this being a 1.68 million GP per hour method, it takes it up to 2.88 million instead. Next is another hidden shop and why I love this game. I had no idea that this even existed. After completing the Rogue Trader minigame, you probably know that you can trade Ali for some runes, some blackjacks, and some general stock in Al-Kharid. But if you purchase any 3 dies and head down to Sophanum and give them to Simon, he will send some stock to Ali's shop that you'll now have access to. So head back to Al-Kharid and speak to Ali again to reveal a new 4th option. You can now access the clothes option, which allows you to purchase 2 types of Menify clothing. Now the prices do change, so you have to check what's currently worth the most money. But once you've figured that out, you can purchase them, use your Ring of Dueling to teleport to Castle Wars to bank, then use it again, but this time back to the PvP arena next to Ali. They're also incredibly cheap. And the robe top and hat for me were 2.5 to 3,000 profit each, and with 25 of each one in stock for every single world. So it was really rapid buying these and hopping world every couple of trips to the bank for 70 to 85,000 GP profit every inventory. Now, clothing is notoriously slow to sell, so too many people doing this will crash the prices, but in 5 minutes I purchased 130 of one and 132 of the other. I put them in a little bit cheaper than the latest prices yesterday, and a few of each have sold. At those prices, this would be a 5.76 million GP per hour for a very simple moneymaker. But Ali has one more trick up his sleeve. If you go back to soaping them, but this time take 3 animal hides instead, like snake skins or cow hides or anything like that, giving those to Simon will instead change the clothes that Ali sells. And when you now trade him, you get access to some new desert clothing and a fez. Currently, this is a little bit less profitable than the other clothing, but still good money. Again, test the prices to see what's currently worth the most, but as of recording this, it's the top and the legs which give you about 1,000 profit each. It's the exact same method as before, and about 130 of each in the 5 minutes again, threw them on the G, and these ones are actually selling fairly quickly. Even at 1,000 GP profit, because you can buy them quite fast, it's a tidy 3.1 million GP per hour for me. But again, if too many people do this, it will crash the item, so give it a few weeks, then test the market again and see if it's still just as good. If you have any money makers that you want me to test, let me know in the comments, and I'll be testing a load more money makers for next month.